All right, next, let's go to all the biggest happenings in the Israel-Hamas front. Military flares lit up the Gaza night sky as fighting between Israeli forces and Hamas militants continues in the besieged enclave. Gaza City, the largest urban area in the territory, is the focus of Tel Aviv's campaign to crush Hamas following the October 7th incursion into Israel that set off the war. Now, Israel and Lebanon's Iran-backed Hezbollah group continue to trade fire with near-daily border skirmishes that have heightened fears of a regional conflagration. A group of journalists in southern Lebanon said that they were targeted in Israeli strikes. The Israel Electric Corporation said a worker was killed Sunday by an anti-tank missile strike across the Lebanese border in the Dovev area, 800 meters from the frontier. Rockets were seen being launched towards Israel from Gaza on Monday night. Sirens were also heard in central Israel. According to the Ashkelon Coast Regional Council, one rocket fell in the region as well. No injuries were reported though, but buildings and vehicles were damaged. As per Palestinian news agency Wafa, at least 30 people were killed in the Israeli airstrike on the Jabalia refugee camp in the north. It added that the Israeli airstrikes targeted 12 homes in a densely populated area near the Jabalia Services Club in the camp for Palestinian refugees. Now, the Israeli army said it had evidence showing Hamas militants had held hostages at a different hospital in Gaza City. Army spokesman said troops found signs that indicate that Hamas held hostages at the basement level of Al-Rantisi Children's Hospital near Admiral Daniel Hagari Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari showed footage of a baby bottle and a rope near a chair as well. Look at this.
Underneath the hospital, in the basement, we found a Hamas command and control center, suicide bomb vests, grenades, AK-47 assault rifles, explosives devices, RPGs and other weapons, computers, money, etc. And we also found signs that indicate that Hamas held hostages here. This is currently under our investigation, but we also have intelligence that verifies it.
Israel is facing mounting international pressure over the human cost of its war. Eli Cohen said, and I quote here, "We have 2 or 3 weeks until international pressure really steps up, but the foreign ministry is working to broaden the window of legitimacy." He added that the fighting will carry on for as long as necessary. As Israel's ground campaign advanced, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said Hamas had lost control of Gaza. IDF soldiers of the Golani Brigade shared a photo showing the Israeli flag inside the Hamas parliament building in Gaza.
אין כוח של חמאס שמסוגל לעצור את צה"ל. צה"ל מתקדם לכל נקודה. ארגון החמאס איבד שליטה בעזה. מחבלים בורחים דרומה, אזרחים הולכים ובוזזים את בסיסי החמאס, אין להם אמון בשלטון יותר. הכוחות שלנו מתקדמים, מבצעים את המשימות שלהם לפי תוכנית.
The Israeli government released a clip of Prime Minister Netanyahu meeting with troops at one of the assembly points near the Gaza Strip fence and thanking them for their service. He said, and I'm quoting here, "This is neither an operation nor a round, but a war to the end."
אומר המון. זה מצב הכי גרוע שיכול להיות להפוך את הקרב, זה אומר המון. זה מה שאנחנו עושים עכשיו גם כן. הכוחות בפנים, וזה לא מבצע, זה לא סבב. זה מלחמה עד הסוף. עד הסוף. חשוב לי שתדעו את זה. זה לא מן השפה אל החוץ, זה מהלב החוצה, וגם מהשכל החוצה. אם אנחנו לא גומרים אותם, זה יחזור.
Hamas stated Israel is procrastinating about a potential hostage deal. The armed wing of Palestinian militant group Hamas said they told Qatari mediators that the group is ready to release up to 70 women and children held in Gaza in return for a 5-day truce. They added that the truce should include a complete ceasefire and allowing aid and humanitarian relief everywhere in the Gaza Strip. The deputy health minister in the Hamas-run Gaza Strip told news agency AFP that all hospitals in the north of the territory are out of service. Abu Rish said 7 premature babies and 27 patients had died in recent days in Gaza City's Al-Shifa hospital, the Palestinian territory's largest. US President Joe Biden urged Israel to use less intrusive action around the hospital, saying that it must be protected. Al-Shifa hospital has been at the center of intense fighting between Hamas and Israel, which charges the militants with hiding in tunnels beneath the facility. Hamas, of course, denies the accusation. Now, the Indonesian president urged US President to do more to ensure Israel's war with Hamas stops. Indonesia and about 270 million people is the largest Muslim majority nation there is. All right, for more on this, we earlier spoke to Irina Sukerman, Middle East analyst and human rights activist. She joined us from Washington, D.C. to share her opinion on this. Listen to this.
Well, President Biden did emphasize that same issue, the need to protect hospitals to Israel. But for now, he has ruled out the possibility of a ceasefire. First, because Israel itself has ruled out that option. And second, it probably would not accomplish all that much at this point. In terms of addressing the uproar, he has had many Zoom calls and other outreach efforts with members of Arab American and Muslim American communities in the United States, discussing the White House strategy to combat Islamophobia that was recently released as planned. Also discussing the humanitarian aid efforts by the United States to deliver humanitarian aid into Gaza. Now, many of these communities have been pushing for a ceasefire, but no one has actually concretely described what outcome they would expect the ceasefire to accomplish. A ceasefire would not restore fuel, electricity, or fix those hospitals. A ceasefire would not return the conditions for the refugees to come back. So the only thing it would actually allow to do is for Hamas to relocate and possibly utilize the humanitarian crossings to make an escape from Gaza. Otherwise, everything that could be done by Israel specifically at this moment is already being done through humanitarian pauses, through evacuation assistance efforts, through warnings to the civilian population, and through drops by Jordan. So those options are limited.